Hello and welcome back to Wexcombe Manor Farm. Today we have got a bit of a dirty job to do. We've got to move a great big pile of poo. We've got to move it to field number 3. To be more specific, it is manure, not just poo. So yes, there is straw mixed in, which makes it mildly better, but still we're going to be using machinery, we're going to be using the MANURE 2, and behind us we have got the IT runner trailer with the dump trailer attachment. So this is hopefully going to really speed up the process. Now the reason why I'm going to move all of the manure to the field first is because otherwise we have to keep going backwards and forwards from the field to the yard with the muck spreader, which is quite slow. I'd rather just take it all there, put it in a pile, and then spread it all within the field. We don't have to keep going back to the yard, you know, bringing mucky tyres on the road, stuff like that. So yeah, the MANURE 2 is all ready for us. One thing we do have to do though is move this trailer just around the corner. It does need to be unloaded ideally, but first of all I think what we should do is just detach it. So if we just reverse it into the shed and take it off. It is quite heavy. I mean, this tractor isn't that big, but it seems to be coping okay. Good. So if we put it here, let's just take the hoses out and stuff. There we go. Now we can move on. Yes, you couldn't actually see the hoses coming out there. Sorry to break the immersion. Yes, manual attach is currently disabled. I do need to re-enable it again. I had to take it off yesterday because it was, well, something was crashing the game. I don't think it was the manual attach mod that was crashing it. It's just that was a recently installed mod, so I had to try and eliminate which one it was. I think I do know. It was a John Deere, basically. It was a John Deere tractor, which I installed a few days ago. I haven't actually used it though in a series. But yes, that is the likely culprit. Anyway, here we go. We may be a bit short on space. That is the only issue. There is probably more space over at the pigs, but the pigs haven't really produced that much, whereas the cows have. I wonder if maybe that is the best idea. If we reverse up to this gate, have maximum space, just can't hit the collision of the gate because it probably sticks out a bit further than the frame. There we go. If it is too far away, we can always move it again. But I have taken the liberty of getting the correct manure fork rather than using just the bucket. So this should make it look a bit more realistic. But there is a fair bit here. And of course I do have to use the mouse to control the grab. I still haven't really found a good way of enabling it onto the joystick. I suppose what I could do is set it as a button. That would work. And to be honest, in Farming Simulator you don't even have to use the grab if you don't want to. It doesn't really affect it. Which is what I might end up doing, as I know a lot of people don't like the sound of my mouse clicking. Now I don't think it is actually going to take that many loads to fill each trailer, as this grab is fairly big. We are of course going to use the grab in the field as well to load up the muck spreader. I suppose you could use a conveyor if you wanted to, but that would probably seem a bit strange. We're not going to do it that way. We are just going to load it up with the manure fork. I think that is probably going to be the most true to life thing to do. I can't really see many farmers using a conveyor belt to load up some muck from a field. I suppose it could be done somewhere, but I've never seen a video of it. Right, is that? No, just too far down. There we go. I think probably 1 or 2 more loads in there, and then we can head over to the field and tip the first load. I do need to be quite strategic as to where I put the load. It doesn't want to be in the way. And still we only can fill this to 99% full. And we've just had the patch, so it's obviously supposed to be like that. It must be a realism thing, as you can never fill something 100%, or it's actually quite hard to determine where 100% is, so they just do it to 99. It's a very good theory which somebody had, I can't remember who it was. This is a good pile of muck, in fact it's still filling up. That seems to be it. Let's move this out of the way. We'll head down to fill number 3 and we'll tip load number 1. I don't know the capacity, I've spilled a bit. Wow, I have made a mess. 18,000 litres, there we go. So we could tow this with a much smaller tractor if we wanted to. But the Case 240 just seems to be the obvious choice. If we've got the extra power, why not use it? I just thought we should probably use this trailer instead of using the one we have for grain, because although you can use the grain trailer, it would mean cleaning it all out and stuff, and it's nice and clean already for grain, and we don't really want to contaminate it too much. So using a trailer designed just for dumping stuff like hardcore and soil, and obviously manure as well, this just seems to be the obvious way of doing it. Even though it has cost us, what would it be, about £2,000 to rent? It's a lot of money, but it's worth it. The IT Runner pack is a very good pack to have. It used to be payware, but not anymore. Now this is the way we go. And that, as you'll probably know from yesterday if you watched the video, is the fill which we've just cut. So what we're going to do is really work this fill. We're going to make sure it has, well, 90% extra productivity. You can't actually have 100% extra, I don't think, because it just goes up to 90%. But still we are going to maximise it as much as possible. Now I think this corner here might be the best one to go for. So if we start tipping on the edge somewhere, that should be the best thing to do. So how do we tip? I'm not sure. How do you tip? There we go. That would do. For a second there I thought, hang on, what? How come you can't empty it? Then I realised I was actually selecting the frame of the trailer rather than the back of the trailer, the attachment. It is good. Let's go for load number 2. It doesn't look very impressive when it's there. Oh yes, and you see those bales over there in that field? They shouldn't be there at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the XML file and just delete them, because to recover them from there we'd have to either cut the field with a combine, which means crashing into the bales, or driving through the crop and plucking them out one by one. Either way, it doesn't seem very realistic, so I think the best thing to do is probably just to delete them. And I could actually adjust the XML file money if I wanted to, so we could give ourselves a bit of cash for them, but chances are they're not worth too much, so I don't know. What do you think I should do? Should we give ourselves maybe £1,000 for them, or should we just get rid of them completely? Now, of course we do need to buy or rent a muck spreader as well. I'm not going to go with the small one, because the small ones are painfully slow, but at the same time I'm not going to go for anything stupidly big, because this farm doesn't really justify it, especially as we're probably only going to do one field. So I think just, mid-range. That is always the safest option. We don't want to be ripping ourselves off with the rental fee or purchase price. Just depends which method we go down, really. But as it tends to be leasing, because it's just short-term the best option. We would have no money at all if we bought everything outright. Now, that is still a very big pile of manure just here. Let's continue filling it up. So we get 3,492 litres at a time. Obviously, the general idea was to have it at 3,500, but that's just not possible with this system. This time I try not to spill as much. That was a severely messy thing to do. I guess a time lapse here would go down quite well. Oh, it would always look good to do a time lapse.
Lightning strikes by my window. Hits my chest right in the morning, like a warning. Could have slept here for days. I felt your heartbeat, felt your mouth breathe, but it's not real. We were close to see the sun, but clouds got in our way, and so
This is now load number 3 to the field. I didn't time lapse the loading of this. I think probably just one trailer load being loaded is enough, or maybe even 2 actually. We have done 2, one as a time lapse and one in real time, but our pile is now getting larger. I don't think it's going to be enough for this field. We're bringing 18,000 litres at a time. So yeah, what I'm going to do is go back, get at least one more load, and also when we do get the muck spreader, we're going to load that up to the top at the yard, so that's an extra load, and then hopefully what we have here will be enough, but we can always bring more down, it doesn't really matter. But certainly what I'm looking at is at least 4 loads. Okay, so here is load number 4, which we're going to just leave in the field temporarily. We're going to get into the Massey Ferguson tractor, head up to the store, then obviously we'll decide whether or not we're going to buy one or lease one. Most likely we are going to lease one, because I think it is just this field that we're going to do. We'll certainly be harvesting this field before the end of the series, so none of this is going to be wasted. Oh yeah, and you can probably remember from my Chellington series that I did say that the sugar beet which we harvested in the last episode was going to be carried over to the next interactive map. Now the next interactive map has now started, it's Colborough Park Farm. So I think what we should do is transfer it into that save game, because then obviously it makes it fair. That is probably going to be the best thing to do. Anyway, here is the Massey Ferguson 5613. There is the Manitou still. Obviously, with it being this tractor that we're going to be using, we can't have a muck spreader which is too big. They do need quite a bit of horsepower, but nothing extreme. Luckily, this tractor is actually quite powerful for its size because it's the upgraded engine, which is very beneficial to us. I'm expecting the Hilux still to be here unless someone's stolen it. There it is. Good. It shows you can leave something somewhere and it still be there the next day. That is always a bonus, as that isn't always the case, unfortunately. Now, let's take a look at, where is it? Muck spreaders, there we go. So there is the Farm Tech, which is very cheap. In fact, it is much cheaper than anything else. Now, this is interesting. This one here, because that's for the IT runner. this farm tech. Now, unfortunately, it is more expensive than the Bergman, which fits to the Hauer pack, the Terra variant tractor. I'm surprised it's more, really, but it is just the way it is. So maybe if we were to rent this, that would be the cheapest and best option. That's got a 15 metre spread with a 24,000 litre capacity, whereas if we rented this one here, it's the same spread, but 5,000 litres less in capacity. So I think this one here is going to be the obvious choice. We already have the base unit for it, so that is going to save money. The only issue is this tractor going to be big enough? 170 horsepower is what it requires, and this tractor is 130. So it looks like, unless we use the very small one, every job today is going to be performed by the Puma CVX. I would have thought 240, I think it is. So, bit of a wasted journey, but not to worry. We'll take it back again. And I think, oh no, perfect. We can take the trailer. We need to have a serious tidy up. This farm is messy. So, I think if the Hilux can follow the tractor, we'll put these away nicely. And then we'll head down here with the IT runner. We'll pick it up and then we'll load it up and go from there. Obviously we're not going to return the dump trailer just yet. Did I hit that? Either seriously close or I did, I'm not too sure. That was bad driving. Yes, we won't return the dump trailer just yet, we'll keep it. We have it for an hour, so still about 40 minutes I would say. So the trailer, I'm going to just reverse next to the Bale trailer. Seems like a good place for them. The same brand and everything. Oh, that really is tailgating. Stop. They are good trailers. Irish quality. So that can go there. Turn the engine off, turn the beacons off. And this can go, I don't know, just straight down here. We'll just reverse it in. Something's out of scale. The trailer or the pickup. I'm not sure what. There. Right, so we need to... Oh, look, I've left it. That is not good. We need to go over to the case. We need to tip the trailer. Then we need to bring it back and swap it over. We'll just make that a bit better. There we go. Another load tipped. So, yes, we need to use the hook lift, remove this part of the trailer. I haven't really decided where to do it yet. I think we'll probably take it back to the yard and do it there. There is more space, but it can't be in the way. That is the issue. Obviously, the back of a trailer, or the attachment for a trailer, does take up quite a bit of space, so we need to be relatively sensible with where we place it. We'll see when we get there. I'm sure it'll become a much clearer situation. Probably against a grain store somewhere. Yep, so I would say here, there is no real requirement to go into this barn. I don't think it will even block most of the way. I suppose we could put it a bit further forward as well. Yeah, that's fine. Just roll it back a bit. And that should do it. Now, let's go and do a bit more leasing. Oh joy, what fun. Yep, hate leasing, but it's just such a good function. It's just so handy. I hate it, but I like it. As weird as it sounds. But yes, that container there does need to be returned. We can't keep it. We are being charged for it hourly, even though it isn't very much an hour. Just so we know exactly where it's going to spawn, I think the best thing to do is to lease it from out here. It's another £4,160. Good. Oh well. I'm sure we'll live. Now, the cows are becoming much more productive than they ever used to be, which is really helping us. I suppose another thing which is good about leasing over buying outright is we don't have the maintenance. Those maintenance fees can really kill you. Not literally, but they can kill the bank balance of your farm. So this is it, the Farm Tech Fortis. I don't think I've used it before. But that does make quite a big muck spreader. In a way it looks larger than 24,000 litres, it looks more like 30. Maybe even 35. Because that trailer we were using yesterday, our grain trailer, that's 35. I suppose this has got the extra part on the back, all the rotors which flick the manure everywhere. This time I think instead of going into the cow field we are just going to reverse straight back from here. The only issue is being able to see. I'm sure we can judge it. Let's just hope nobody has gone behind us. Right, so where is that gate? It isn't too far from here. Yes. I would leave it here. Let's see how close I was to hitting something. Got a good metre at least there, maybe even 2. In fact, it might be worth just backing up a bit more. Let's just see. I think maybe up to the wall is going to be the ideal place. Yep, it is going to be. It is possible. It's just not that easy. So there we go, a full load of 32,000 litres. I thought it was 24, but no, I must have got confused somehow. It is 32,000, which is strange. I must have selected the wrong one. Anyway, following us we have got somewhere, Manitou, with a grab load of manure as well. So we're going to start on the far side of the field. Yeah, it gets very bumpy here. Let's just kill our speed a bit. Where's the Manitou? Has he got stuck? It really shouldn't have done. No, it is still following. We should see it any second. There it is. It's not slowing down for the bumps at all. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You can tell that they don't own the machine. Huh. But it's alright, because the farm owner has just spotted them, and when they get out of it, they've got the sack. Okay, I've just told him that he's got the sack, and he really didn't react well to it, and he's now decided to ram my farm tech, my muck spreader. So well, I've got criminal damage as well now. It is worrying. I mean, look how menacing he is. Oh, the handbrake is on as well. Right, thankfully that is all sorted. He has decided to calm down and go home quietly. Meanwhile, we can go and do a bit of muck spreading. Some people think I'm absolutely stupid when I do those role plays. Ah dear. Right, so yeah, it's got a pretty good working width. I think I was getting the working width and the fill capacity mixed up, which wouldn't surprise me at all. It's going to be quite difficult to keep this neat, but that isn't a bad working width. And I think, let me just jump out a second. I think you can actually see where it's being spread. Yeah, it is changing the texture. It's hard to see. In fact, this is probably the worst crop you can see it in, as there's already a lot of chaff. But it does work. That is working very well, and because of the increased capacity, it's taking a long time to deplete the supply, which is very good news. Now we're definitely going to have enough muck to do all of this field, no doubt about it, but I just don't know if we've got enough actually in the field. That is the only thing. But like I say, it'll be dead easy for us just to go back and get another trailer if we need to. The hardest thing is keeping it in a straight line, and obviously because we're not using the GPS, it is very hard to keep it very straight and neat. We could use GPS, but I think for this job it's just not 100% necessary. I mean, we could do, but I think we can live without it. Do we have GPS on this tractor? Is that a box on the roof? I think it might be. I don't know case tractors very well, but I think it is. Yes, that is not looking neat at all. It's because I've been following the shape of the field. But as long as it is 100% covered, then it's fine. What we're going to do after this load is call it a day, because tomorrow we are going to finish this off. It is going to be very quick. In fact, I have complete confidence that we've got more than enough manure in this field to finish all of this field. I think we'll have a lot left actually, because this was 32,000 litres and we're already just less than halfway. In fact, possibly halfway, because I've done the headland as well. I did the headland to make it easier to turn. I don't know if you do the headland first or last really, but I just thought it would be easier for us if we did it first. One way of thinking about the way we're doing this is, would it have cost more than, let's say, £7,000 to fertilise this field with artificial fertiliser? My guess is probably no, but at least this is organic and it doesn't feel like we are spending too much money on fertiliser. And I should think, I don't know, but I should think that the muck from the cows is actually better than the artificial stuff. I don't know though, just a guess. Anyway, we have got 20% left in here, so let's just finish off. It is now starting to level off, which is good news. If we can just get up to the top here, then that would finish this section. I can't believe this. We have actually almost done the whole field on just one load. That's incredible. But it is now pretty much empty. There we go. It did last a long time. And how do we get that back board to go down? I don't know. I'd have thought press B, but it doesn't seem to do anything. Oh well, we're loading it up again tomorrow. Oh, actually, when would it be? No, it's a long time actually until we do this again. Is it Thursday? Pretty sure it is. But yeah, it's not going to take too long, so we'll just blast through this job at the beginning of the next episode, and then it will be finished. I'm assuming that is slowly returning. It is, yes. Very slowly. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and until next time, see you again very soon. Bye for now.